Jarvis. Uh-huh. Ooh. What? Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Iron Man 3. This movie is directed by Shane Black, who previously directed one of my favorite movies, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and the movie stars Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, and Guy Pearce, with Don Cheadle and Ben Kingsley. Coming off the heels of the Avengers, I only wanted two things from this movie. I wanted the Mandarin to be awesome, and I wanted this movie to be better than Iron Man 2, as far as the story and the villain, and I also didn't want this to be so Avengers-driven or Avengers-heavy. I wanted this to feel more like a third Iron Man movie and less than a sequel to the Avengers. Well, I can honestly say this movie failed at one, but succeeded in the other. A guy that doesn't usually direct action movies, Shane Black really knocked it out of the park with Iron Man 3. All the things that we loved about Iron Man 1 and 2 were in this movie. All the things we expected more from in Iron Man 1 and 2 were in this movie. All the supporting characters that we wished had bigger parts or more important things to do were in this movie. The movie had so much going for it. It even had the funny, witty dialogue that we love and expect from Tony Stark. It, of course, had awesome action, but it also had a good villain, and the storyline was different. Tony Stark didn't know who the villain was right away. He had to put these pieces together and figure it out, and then when he follows the breadcrumbs and finally comes face to face with the villain, the fight is so intense that you're like, this is cool to look at, but oh my gosh, Tony Stark might not make it. If I'm going to review this movie, I can't talk just about the highs. I have to talk about the lows, or should I say the low. The biggest disappointment of this movie? The Mandarin. Ben Kingsley was good. He always is. But the Mandarin, I'm not going to say it was Venom bad from Spider-Man 3, but there's a scene in the movie that just left me going, really? That's what they decided to do? Really? Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. It's understandable what they did with the character in the movie, but let me just say, trailers, this movie is very misleading. Now, there were some bright spots. There was a cameo at the beginning of the movie. It's not the obvious one, but there's a character that's only in it for a few seconds, and it really brought together the Iron Man story. You may have to go back and watch Iron Man 1 for a refresher, because he's only in that one. Also, Shane Black worked with Robert Downey Jr. in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And in that movie, he did two things that he also did in this. And that's a voiceover from Tony Stark, which was nice because it helped the movie flow and it gave perspective. But he also had great dialogue, especially in this movie. There's a scene where Tony Stark matches wits and throws witty banter back and forth with a 10-year-old kid. And it's just a nice addition to the movie. It's really, really cool. And something I really liked about this movie was that it was not a stepping stone towards Avengers 2. This was a solo Iron Man adventure. It wasn't Nick Fury walking in going, here's your next mission, because this essentially wrapped up the Iron Man story. Now, I'm not saying Tony Stark is going anywhere, because he's not. But after Avengers 2, I honestly don't know if Robert Downey Jr. will be returning. And, of course, there is a post-credit scene, but to me, even though it was funny, it seemed more like an unnecessary deleted scene rather than a cliffhanger. Think Avengers post-credits rather than Iron Man 2. Now, I've changed my rating system from a 1 to a 5 to letter grades. So, from a letter grade from an A to an F, I'm going to give Iron Man 3 a B. I definitely recommend this movie. If you liked Iron Man or the Avengers, or just Robert Downey Jr. being Robert Downey Jr., check this movie out. What a way to kick off May. Till next time, guys. See ya.